begin to believe again. You have to remember that the illusions and the lies that had raised you, these are the altars that continue to try and spew doubt into your ear, try and tell you how to be realistic with life, try and tell you to minimize yourself in order for other people to be comfortable. But I want to speak to that part of you today and say, God is calling you higher in this season. There are dreams that God has always wanted to birth through you. You are an heir in the kingdom. You have kingdom authority. You are a royal priesthood, my love. And so if this video finds you, God wants to talk to the part of you that had always believed in the lies and the deceit and the deception that the enemy had tried to cloak you with. At the end of the day, there's nothing that is impossible with God. It doesn't matter what you love. If you love it and it is from God, best believe that there is space for it. I don't care if the systems are curated or not, there's only one person that does things the way that you do. And there are people that are tied to you fully walking in that blessing. I'm a late bloomer, right? In that it took me longer to begin. It took me longer to believe because the systems that had raised me earlier on, see, depending on how far people have come to recognize and know themselves, they will only ever see life from that lens. And so I had been around a lot of people that only knew doubt, that only knew to minimize themselves, that only knew to succumb or to settle than to truly fully go for everything that God has spoken and said was possible. This is why it was very important for me to go on a sacred journey with God to figure out what it is that He had meant in the text. And I'm telling you now, what people say to you, be realistic, wasn't realistic. You are not here to labor your life away while yours was on the back burner, while people continued to live their dreams, while you were just sitting and doing the back and forth. No, God has plans the size of heaven for you. God has every great plan for you, but it does take you to know the word in order to combat the lies that have always spoken to you with truth. Because see, how to override those lies and illusions and that program of warfare over your life is by speaking truth to it, is by reminding it whose you are, is by reminding it whose you are in God, is by reminding it that, honey, what is impossible with man was always possible with God. That God said, I'm the head and not the tail, that I'm the lender and not the borrower, that I'm above and not below. You need to continue speaking life unto your life. Honey, you have to be so obsessed with your path and with God being the illumination on your path more than you are about the curation of what the world tells you through this little box and screen. If it is fear, then it is not from God, because God has reminded us that He has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and a sound mind. And so some of the things that I believed in my earlier days that had me delay the dreams that God had wanted to birth through me had taken longer because it took me a while to finally begin to believe and prophesy and speak life to my life, because I recognized that whatever it is that these people had spoken into my life had taken root, and these were the altars that were running my life. I began to run my life from a mold of minimizing myself, of making myself less invisible. There was a sense of myself that was uncomfortable, that didn't think I was worthy for these things. But I tell you now that, honey, begin. It is you against you. There's only one you that does things the way that God has always intended, through you. and no one else. I don't care if the script is the same, honey. I don't care if the lines are the same, honey. There is only one you. And so bet on you because God has already bet on you. Bet on you because God has already believed in you. Bet on you because God has already said that you are a royal priesthood. To be an heir in the kingdom means that what is your father's is yours. To receive what was always your father's, it required you to walk in that authority. It required you to walk in your knowing. It required you to know that God has always had plans never to harm you, but to prosper you. God had delivered people from Egypt when the Pharaoh wanted to keep them captive, right? Because when God delivers you from Egypt, he also has to deliver your mindset from Egypt. Because if he ever brought you into promises and you still carried the wounds of what happened in Egypt, you will try to run the promise the same way that mentality ran Egypt. Allow God to bring you out of that survival. You weren't only ever meant to survive, honey, you are born to thrive. You are born to take space. You are born to take dominion. You are born to be seen. You are born to influence. You are born to take territory over everything that God has always spoken possible over your life. I want you to know that even though the devil had tried to steal, to kill, and to destroy that dream, I pray, I command, I decree, and I declare that that dream begins to take root right now. I pray that you put God in his rightful throne over your life. I pray that you be delivered from all of the lies and these altars that have had you captive for a long time, because greater is he who has always been within you, because greater is he who has always wanted the best for you within you. I want you to know that greater are the things that God has always intended for you over you slaving your life away for 9 to 5 and thinking that that was freedom. That was never freedom. And this is not to shame anybody, but this is a mentality problem where you need to unshackle yourself from that to believe that that was always your safety. Honey, safety and freedom was always found in God. Safety and freedom was always found in knowing that there is no one that gets to control your time, your how you move, when you wake up in life. And the only person that could deliver you from such a system that wants to oppress you is God.